In this video, I'll be going over your syllabus for Math 2510, Introduction to Discrete Mathematics for summer 2020. So at the beginning of the page here, you'll see your instructor's name. Your instructor is Dr. Bikash C. Das, as well as his information, his email address, his office number, office phone number, and so on. Of course, this is a fully online course, and so for this summer, office hours will be held virtually. Your instructor is going to be available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the online platform Collaborate Ultra for you to ask questions, but will not be hosting in-person office hours on campus for this summer. For e-learning, you'll use your usual MyUNG login credentials. If you're returning UNG students, then presumably you already know how to use e-learning, but if not, most of this course you'll be needing to use e-learning. So this is a course offered by the Department of Mathematics in the College of Science and Mathematics. There is a required textbook for this course, and you'll see that here. So it gives you the name of the textbook, but here you'll see the links for the free interactive ebook and the downloadable PDF. So this is not a book that you have to purchase. This is an open resources textbook. So you want to make sure that you check out these links to get access to your textbook. And here's one other optional free textbook that's very good, as well as some supplementary readings. These books may or may not be downloadable, but are very good books if you're interested in learning more about the topic. And here are some online resources that we'll be using. As I mentioned, e-learning or D2L. Most of your course materials will be available there, as well as Top Hat. A large portion of your course is going to take place through Top Hat, and Top Hat is a learning platform that you need to purchase access to, but for the entire semester, your access should be around $26. So it's a low-cost learning platform, but you must have access to Top Hat because you'll be taking tests and quizzes and doing your homework in Top Hat. When you sign up for Top Hat, please make sure to sign up using your first and last name so that your instructor can identify you as a student in the course. Here are some additional library resources and web-based resources for further reading on mathematics or just fun math websites and other support websites that you might want to take a look at. Here's the course description. Introduction to Discrete Mathematics, Math 2510, is an introductory course in discrete mathematics. Topics will include logic, sets, relations, combinatorial methods, Boolean algebras, applications of Boolean algebras, and a brief survey of graphs and networks and recurrence relations. This is a 3-credit-hour course in the mathematics department. The prerequisites will be Math 1113 pre-calculus, or Math 1415, 1501, or 2460 with a grade of C or higher. So you want to make sure that you meet that prerequisite requirement. Otherwise, you would need special approval from the department head to take this course. And here again, we reiterate the technology requirements. You must have access to e-learning or D2L, which you all should as UNG students, and you'll log in with your usual UNG credentials. You must also purchase access to Top Hat. It's a low-cost learning platform that you'll be using to do your quizzes, homeworks, and tests, and these are all clickable links. So you can find this syllabus on e-learning and click these links to find Top Hat. You must also have a webcam for this class. This is a fully online class, so it is required that you have a webcam for certain proctored activities. If you do not have a webcam, you should contact your instructor immediately. And as you know, you'll find his email address at the top of this page. There's a list of course objectives After completion of this course, the student should be able to construct a truth table for a given compound statement, convert a grammatical implication to a symbolic implication, derive a major conclusion from a set of symbolic implications, convert a symbolic implication to a grammatical implication, solve, using the fundamental counting principle, word count problems, number of ways problems, balls in boxes problems, solve and explain the solution to problems that require the pigeonhole principle, solve and explain the solution to problems that require the principle of inclusion, exclusion. So these are just a handful of the course objectives, some of the main ideas of the course, and a little bit of preview of what you'll be learning this semester. And of course there are more detailed course objectives for each chapter or module in the course. All class resources will be available on the e-learning platform. And again, your username and password should be the same UNG ID that you use to access your email. You'll be required to use Top Hat, so you'll set up an account and a username with them. And in Top Hat, you'll be doing your homework, quizzes, tests, as well as most of the classroom resources will also be available in Top Hat, and Top Hat is a nice, easy to use platform. So if you don't prefer to read things in D2L, you'll also have the option to read some of them in Top Hat. We have a general outline here for the coursework, and as always with any syllabus, these outlines are subject to change. You have access to all assignments at the beginning of the class, and you can determine your schedule and your thoughts before posting. So this is a fully online class. It's going to be your responsibility to determine how you manage your time and your study habits each week. Each week, a variety of activities will be assigned. Each assignment will build knowledge and skills that contribute to the successful completion of the course. You will demonstrate command of the course competencies through assignments and activities, but your learning will be self-directed. That's not to say that your instructor is not available to assist you. As mentioned, you'll have office hours every day where you can contact your instructor, but at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for your own learning. Discussions will be a part of this course. Discussions will be one of the main forms of communication and interaction. You must contribute to the class discussions in a substantive way. You should post above and beyond the posting of assignments. Fewer posts will result in a reduction of points, and the quality of your posts is important. Successful online learning requires active discussion and participation. Substantive participation includes responses to discussion questions and includes appropriate documentation or citation. Substantive responses must be based upon the course content, theory, or personal experiences. So a response like "I agree" does not count as participating in a discussion. It's also important to note that everyone's comments are equally important. The diversity of experiences among members of the class will enhance the learning, and all students must be treated equitably within the classroom. Remember that the online classroom is a place of expression and discussion. So here you'll find a link to a video about what is called netiquette. So netiquette will provide you with some rules for how to conduct yourself in online discussions and more or less respect other people's opinions and make sure that your posts are appropriate. So one other thing that we'll always point out with an online course is that spelling is important. This is a college level course, and even though it's a math course, spelling will be counted. If you're responding to a discussion post, just make sure that you're writing as if you are in a college course, as you are. Another thing to point out is that there is a type of plagiarism called self-plagiarism. Maybe sometimes we wouldn't think about this, but you don't want to recycle your own writing. That is considered plagiarism. So if you write a response to a discussion post, you can't just copy and paste your own answer to a different question or a different post. Now here is an important bullet point. There is a mandatory attendance quiz and a mandatory attendance discussion, and this should be true for all online courses, but is definitely true in this course. So within the first week or so, you must complete the mandatory attendance quiz and the introduction discussion. This is how your instructor is going to know that you have logged in, and because it's an online course, they're not able to take roll in the physical classroom. This is a way of checking which students are participating in the course, which students are attending, if you will. So these must be completed, and you'll find the appropriate deadlines in the Desire to Learn page. So like I said, it's usually within the first week or so. You have to complete these activities in order to be verified on the course roll. Otherwise, you will be withdrawn. So if you do not complete both of these requirements, you will be automatically withdrawn. Here's a little information about your assignments for the course. Online homework will be assigned at the beginning of each week. All homeworks assigned on a particular week will be due by the following Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Homework, as I mentioned, will be posted in Top Hat, and there will be a separate homework set assigned to each of the individual sections discussed in a particular week. Since this is a summer class and we have a condensed 8-week schedule, you should definitely be expecting to do more than one section per week, multiple sections per week, and each section will have its own homework assignment. Again, it's an 8-week course, so we'll have roughly 8 weekly quizzes apart from the mandatory attendance quiz. That's separate. So an additional 8 quizzes, all of which are hosted in Top Hat, except for the final week. Each quiz will be posted on the Friday morning of the week in question at 12 a.m. and will be due the following Saturday at 11:59 p.m. and all times are Eastern Standard Time. We're expecting to have 2 mid-semester tests, or 2 midterms, which will be hybrid exams, both paper and online. And they'll be assigned for specific dates, which you'll find in your course calendar. And of course, as with any syllabus, these course calendar dates are subject to change, but your instructor will notify you of changes. Before the day of the test, students will pick a time slot to take their test. On the day of the test, during your chosen time slot, you will take your test on Top Hat, but your instructor will also provide you with a PDF copy of the test. You'll need to print it and write your detailed work. So you'll have to submit a paper copy of the test, as well as you'll be answering the questions in Top Hat. And this is going to allow your instructor to see the work that you've done. After the completion of the test, you will be required to scan and upload your paper test to D2L. If you don't have access to a physical printer, you should contact your instructor as soon as possible to let them know what you're working with so that he can try to come up with an alternative arrangement for you. But ideally, you will print the test, you'll work it out on paper, and then you'll scan the test and post it in D2L. You can use any scanning app on your phone. There are many. One really great online scanning app is Cam Scanner. So if you have a smartphone, you can just take a picture with your phone and it will turn it into a PDF for you. So you need to make sure that you're uploading a single PDF file anytime you're asked to turn in an assignment, and you have to make sure that it's legible, that your teacher can read your work. Your instructor will provide more information about the testing process later in the course. So here's an outline for these 2 midterms that we're expecting. The first midterm should cover modules 1, 2, and 3. The second midterm should cover modules 4, 5, and 6. Then there will be a cumulative final exam, which will be similar, a hybrid final exam, both paper and online. Again, before the day of the final exam, you will pick a 2-hour time slot to take your exam, and then during the chosen time on the day of the exam, you'll be taking the final in Top Hat, but you'll also have your paper copy where you need to show your work and then turn in that work for your instructor as a PDF copy, which you will upload to D2L using an app like Cam Scanner. Or of course, if you have access to a scanner or a copy machine, that will work just fine as well. A little bit about the evaluation methods. Your formative and summative assessments will be in the form of written and online tests, homework, quizzes, and the final examination. You will also have some participation points for discussion. The grading rubric, you will be graded for correctness, and at the end of the semester, the grades will be assigned according to the scale that you see here. Between 90 and 100 is an A, including a 90. Anything less than a 90, but greater than or equal to 80 is a B, and so on. The usual grading scale that's used at UNG. And your final grade breakdown should look roughly like this. The mandatory quiz and the discussion, this is specifically referring to the attendance quiz at the beginning of the semester, is just 5 bonus points. Weekly discussion activities will account for 50 points, and you can see the percentage of your final grade here. Homeworks, quizzes, tests, and finals. So all together, these are the point breakdown. You should keep this syllabus handy and refer to it anytime you have a question about how your grade may look or your grade distribution for the semester. But again, this mandatory quiz and discussion is referring to the attendance quiz, and then you will also have 8 quizzes throughout the semester. Students will be required to complete all assignments by the due dates. Again, you'll have a course calendar and you'll check Top Hat or D2L for assignment due dates. It's your responsibility to make sure you're staying on top of the due dates, and you must complete all of your assignments by their due dates, and you're expected to actively participate in class activities. So the best practice would be that you log in at least 3 times a week on different days to complete weekly assignments, activities, and other deliverables as directed by your instructor and outlined in this syllabus. It is an online course, and you are responsible for making your own schedule, but you need to make sure you stay on top of your deadlines. Ideally, you'll log in multiple times a week and check in. You must participate in all assigned discussions. In addition to posting a response to the discussion topic assigned, you are expected to respond to each other, so to your fellow students, and any questions from the instructor or your classmates. A general rule of thumb regarding studying for any college class is that for each class, students should spend approximately 2 to 3 hours of study time outside of class for each 1 hour spent in class. So you should spend roughly 30 hours of study time for 15 hours of class. And with an online course, because you are responsible for your own learning, it could be even a little bit more than that. Now here's a very important notification for you. For online classes, no coursework is accepted late, and there are no excuses. So there will be no makeup assignments. The calendar gives you all of the due dates. You need to make sure you stay on top of them. If you miss a due date, you will receive a 0. You have access to all assignments at the beginning of the class, and you can determine your own schedule. So this is your responsibility. Here is the expected feedback time on assignments. Your instructor will respond to emails within 48 hours, not counting weekends or holidays. Generally, it will be sooner than that. And as I previously mentioned, your instructor is holding office hours for you every day. So if you need a quicker response, you can join the Collaborate Ultra meeting that your instructor will set up for you, and you can talk to them each day. Grades and feedback on assignments will generally be provided within 1 week after the assignment's due date. Again, sometimes sooner, but this is the goal. This course is a fully online course, so attendance will not be taken in the traditional way as would be for an in-person course, but you are required to participate in the course, and in particular there will be 3 proctored activities throughout the semester. Attendance in an online course is defined as active participation in the course, described as in the syllabus. So completion of homeworks in Top Hat, tests, quizzes, discussions in e-learning, and so on. Success in this course is dependent on your active participation and engagement throughout the semester. As always, we provide a link to the supplemental syllabus here. So this link will take you to UNG's website, where they have links to all of the information about academic integrity, class evaluations, course grades, withdrawal process, and several other things that you can see listed here. So this information is not specifically provided in this syllabus, but there is the link where you can read about it on ung.edu. If you feel that you need an accommodation for a disability, you have to arrange that through the Disability Services Office on your home campus. So here, your instructor has provided the contact information for the Disability Services offices on the various campuses: Gainesville, Dahlonega, Oconee, Cumming, etc. And finally, you'll see your course calendar. So to make sure you understand how to read the course calendar, on the leftmost column will be a date. So for example, June 1st is the first day of summer class, and you will want to make sure that you read or complete any assignments or activities related to the orientation and the introduction. And it will tell you in D2L or in Top Hat, the assigned reading will be the module introduction and the module 0. Then your assignment will be to complete the mandatory attendance discussion, and then the attendance and syllabus quiz, the mandatory attendance quiz. Then the next dates, you'll see June 2nd through June 5th is going to be on set theory and functions. So June 2nd, you're expected to do lesson 1.1, June 3rd, lesson 1.2, June 4th and 5th, lesson 1.3. And during that week, there is a week 1 discussion. Homework 1.1 corresponds with lesson 1.1. Homework 1.2 corresponds with lesson 1.2, and so on. And there'll be a quiz. So all of your assignments and due dates and modules are outlined here in your course calendar. You should also see test dates, such as the first test date, the test 1, is tentatively scheduled for June 22nd, and we'll be sticking with that unless there's anything unforeseen. If the test date is going to change, you'll be notified. So you want to make sure that you have this calendar handy and that you understand how to read it. As I mentioned, you will be responsible for staying on top of assignments and due dates, and there is information in this syllabus about how these things will work for this course. So that is basically the syllabus for your Summer 2020 Introduction to Discrete Mathematics course. If you have any questions, you should contact your instructor, Dr. Bikash C. Das, and his email address is provided here.